on there? Oh, camera. There it is. Plug.
Nuts.
Holy.
That's our marker.
Yeah.
Nice.
Wow.
Nice.
Hey, I got something in the mail today from Anthony Lazito in check that out. I got
Oh, right on.
Fat Albert and the Gang's greatest hits.
Nice.
Thank you for that. And there was a little cash in there, so fuck yeah. And he has a vintage. Yeah. Oh yeah, that with the apple.
Yeah.
Hey, Russell. Yeah, I had a lot of sandbox fun, and I as a kid, I enjoyed doing. I didn't realize I was being racist by doing impressions of black guys, and I was just like, hey man, that
You
ain't
weren't
cool.
then. Only now you were.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You were fine then.
Yeah, no, I and I even did mush album. Everybody could do mush mouth. You ever you're on drugs and you're talking and then you realize you're mush mouth. Like, oh fuck.
Yeah.
That would throw me into something.
Yeah.
I'd be too far inside. Yeah, that would be too far.
Yeah. I sort of feel like mush mouth might have been hitting the angel dust, but it was just kind of unspoken.
Or maybe he had a problem like James.
Yeah, he might have been Asperger's.
It's probably Rudy that was doing all the.
Oh wow,
Yeah.
man! Yeah, the pimp,
Yeah, look at that.
fucking smooth pimp Rudy. Rudy's like school on Sunday, no class.
No class.
Like size shape. This is the same series.
Yeah,
And
my
it's like
favorite for whatever reason was Bucky. He was the oh no, has he got Bucky? You got Bucky? Yeah. I thought you guys were moving against that sort of Weird Harold. Oh, Weird Harold, definitely.
Shit.
Next to Fat Albert.
Yeah.
Weird Harold looks like he's doing his stand-up set.
Yeah. It's the Apollo.
You know what's weird about junkyards?
Yeah. You got pretty much the band there. You need Bucky, Russell, and Bill Cosby.
My friend is so fat.
Dumb Donald, yeah.
Yeah, they're not available anymore.
Dumb Donald was COVID safe. I don't know. His mask was but he was the ski mask guy. Dumb Donald.
Wait, the one that went over his face, like.
No, that was Mushmouth.
No, Mushmouth was
Wasn't
just
it?
a stocking hat and
but it went down over his eyes.
No, Dumb Donald was. I think that was Dumb Donald. I'm pretty sure Mushmouth was just a red stocking hat.
Dumb Donald
and had kind of a beer belly for a kid.
Mushmouth had the beanie and the buck teeth, and Dumb Donald had the
scarf,
waste basket pulled over his head.
Yeah, where you can see his eyes through his hat.
All right, then.
Kind of, I think Kenny might have been a nod to Dumb Donald, possibly.
I never thought about that. That's true.
But that you wouldn't steal from Bill Cosby. Yeah, Bill Cosby's still in prison, and all these fucking treasonous white dudes went in fucking like, I can't take prison. You know what? They fucking won't even serve you what you want to eat. Fuck this. They went home. Bill's still there. Hey, man, let me out. Yeah.
Yeah, he didn't donate to enough of the right causes.
Mushmouth looks like he had a hard life.
Yeah.
Mushmouth probably ended up.
Looks like he's got a thyroid problem.
I mean, as a preteen, he's got a belly.
He's pretty diabetic.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, they weren't a healthy-looking gang, that's for sure.
No, they were not.
They would have gotten the shit beat out of them by a regular street gang.
Warrior.
Probably, I dive into some of these episodes. There's probably a Warren gang that they talk down with some music. We wrote a song about it. You want to hear it? Here it goes.
That was how they dealt with controversy.
Yeah. And then that gang beat the fuck out of us while we were tuning up our instruments.
Yeah. And then Bill took that money he made with all that shit, created a little rape empire.
Little.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he was. I don't know. He just seemed to. He didn't like build a whole thing like Sandusky, but Bill just seemed to have a lot of. Yeah, like a lot of fucking inappropriateness. But hey, you know, there's two kinds of comics: those who are victims and those who are predators.
Well, I think a lot of famous people too, they might just accidentally be a predator, like one of those victim, what do they call it, like a crime of opportunity.
Yeah.
Where I think he actually set up fucking crimes over and over, where some of them accidentally get themselves in trouble because they get fucked up.
A guy gets done with his set and a chick wants to bone him or give a blowjob. Yeah. That's a crime of opportunity if she comes back later and it's like, hey, come on, we were both. But like when he's like going, okay, I've got my pass out kit. And he's got a little bag, a little zipper bag. Like today, you'd put a hard drive in it. Like he has a whole thing with like Benadryls and aspirins and pills with just a double X on them.
He's got a dossier of what their hopes and dreams are, so that he can capitalize on fucking grooming.
He's got staff on standby because they know they'll be working a late shift. Oh shit! I guess I'm here till 8 in the morning when I arrange the cab. Wake her up, tell her he passed out.
So they're telling him, like, no, look, she's left-handed. You want to sit on the other side.
Yeah.
But like he's got an earpiece in and they're watching on camera and giving him advice.
He's got an itch here right there. Yeah.
Maybe he broke in. Maybe he was one of them gurus. And, Cosby could have broke in as a guru and then like some of the shit, like, that mind control shit, like just the shit I heard. They said on the Letterman show, he requested staff sit around and watch him eat this curry food. I was like, that's, it's like weird, like what the fuck does that? That's beyond, like, like, hey, everybody sit. I want everybody to sit here and watch me eat whatever it is, And it's like just fucking odd.
I think that's, you get that power that comes with fame and money. You start to think that you eating sandwiches is an important event for everybody in their lives.
Yeah, but I could get the don't look at him one. It seems douchey, but I could also understand it because you probably are just like, I want everybody to leave me the fuck alone.
Yeah.
But the watch me eat one is way weirder. I've not heard that one.
That's weirder than don't look at me.
Yeah.
What about? I wish I could do that when I go to Safeway.
Don't
look at me.
Wasn't that one of the Ellen complaints? It's like the
maybe it was
not to look at her.
Yeah,
I would do that if I was in charge of something. It's like, you know what? I don't even want people to look at me today, and definitely don't talk to me. Not today, And then we'll have
Steve Harvey too.
Hey, let's get acquainted Wednesday, where I'll do a 1 hour meet and greet with everybody.
1 hour meet and greet with your staff.
Just have the cardboard
sign headshots.
I thought you might appreciate a headshot. Here you go. Move along.
I took this picture. I don't know why you're handing it to me.
Yeah, I've been your line producer for 14 years. Yeah, whatever.
I drove.
Listen, it's Wednesday. I don't want to hear it until Underling Friday. I don't want to hear your shit.
Oh, by the way, I'm off Friday.
Why would anybody be surprised at somebody who can paste on a happy niceness and then dance with Midwest women and act like she's having fun? Why would you assume she's not seething behind this? I mean, that kind of niceness could only generate hatred for your fellow man.
Exactly. It's like doing Molly, like if you're gonna have that synthetic high that makes you so happy, there's going to be a crash. So definitely underneath all of that, there's got to be rage under there.
And that's where the meanness comes from. It's like Letterman had a reputation for being weird, and people got what they got. He was weird. But Ellen's so nice on camera and shit, and then she's just, work related and doesn't want to be fucking bothered or whatever it is. Or maybe she can be a real fucking Karen. I don't know. I don't, but even if she is a bitch behind the scenes or a fucking asshole or whatever, I don't want to genderize it or whatever, but it's like, it's because of her fake niceness on camera that people are let down, that they feel like, oh, this is just not right. She actually treated me like the douchebag I am.
She saw through it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're saying that she has that power, Andy?
Well, it feels like it's that kind of man-woman double standard, like a woman who treats staff like Amy Klobuchar was rough with staff. So people, she's a difficult bitch. Yeah, and Letterman's a weirdo or guy, like, he can be challenging to work with. I would think Lindsey Graham would be more difficult to work with than any human on the planet, but nobody calls him a bitch, and he sucks more dick than any fucking bitch you've ever met.
Oh, that book's coming out.
Picks up his ass than any porn queen, Lindsey Graham, and nobody calls him a bitch. They just go, oh, he's a bit difficult, or he's in one of his boots. No, he's a fucking bitch. Lindsey
You're
Graham.
right about Ellen, though, that like if Ellen was Letterman, this story would be couched completely differently. It would be like, he's a taskmaster, but he demands.
Yeah, it seems fucking super petty that we've reached the cancel culture of they're not that nice as
right. Yeah, I expected her to be way nicer. Yeah, she was supposed to fucking dance with me off stage and hang out.
Yeah.
I thought, what, people, what you see on camera, that's a character, and all her jokes were not at the expense. They were never cruel or edgy, and where Letterman would take shots directly at people, like he called Trump a racist, but Ellen would never do that. So of course, when the camera is off, she ain't gonna want to hear your fucking mindless babbling about your lemonade stand.
Yeah,
your
fucking,
feel-good story.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, do you think Phil Donahue wanted to hang out with all the fucking kooks? Although he probably preyed on the weaker ones, but Phil Donahue was a nice guy on camera, and I doubt he probably wanted to hang with his fucking kooky fucking customers either.
Yeah, the whole thing with Ellen started. I mean, those stories have been floating around for a while that she's not a nice person on set, which is whatever. That's how people, whatever. It's a workplace. You don't have to work there, but the idea of us being sick of Ellen and taking Ellen down all started happening when she was sitting in the fucking booth with George Bush at the football game, because once she was sitting there with a war criminal and a fucking conservative, then she's no longer an ally. So fuck her. We're gonna take her down.
Well, and I think too, they're running out of legitimate things to cancel people for. So pretty soon, I think the next one my prediction is the next one will be, I wrote so-and-so celebrity a letter and asked him to pay my electric bill because I'm poor and they're very rich, and they didn't do it. So what the fuck is wrong? And then everybody will pile on and be like, yeah, what's up with your elite rich ass? You can't pay somebody's electric bill? Like, we're just going to make up reasons to fucking hate people. And be offended.
Everybody's throwing fucking air punches at each other and shit. Nobody's actually figuring out who they really need to fucking punch. And it's like everybody's spinning out. Oh, fucking, let's get Ellen canceled. No, let's put McConnell underground. Let's fucking end his suffering.
Yeah.
How about Steve Mnuchin? I don't, we're bordering on getting political, but that guy has just got the most chokeable neck you could ever fucking imagine.
The most punchable fucking double gummered lips. He
Yeah.
looks like he took all the good coke and just rummed it on his lips, and you just want to punch him, and you'd have to punch him 10 times, and he wouldn't even know it because his lips are so numb.
Well,
You go,
yeah,
no, I'm taking your fucking teeth out, Steve.
definitely. Yeah, you definitely cut your knuckles up on his.
And you know
teeth.
why, Steve? And you just keep punching and caving in his face, and you keep punching. And you go, you know why, Steve? Because that fucking Ellen is a real bitch when you meet her in person. Just fucking blood splattering from Steve's face. You go, I met her at his place at a restaurant. I asked, could I get you to sign this? And she said, I'm sorry, I'm eating, sir. You bitch. Fucking cancel you, Steve Muchin.
Yeah, don't you just want to fucking take the life out of them?
Yeah. Yes, sir. Boy, I'd like to go, man, I would just fucking, there's so many, those people just like fucking just show up at a yacht party and just be, like I've been that guy at other parties where it's like, you just kind of get that edge where, it's like a Billy Joel song. You're like, oh no, this guy's got,
you may be right.
Yeah, you
I may be crazy.
Yeah. I'm fucking pissed off. I'm moving out, bitch.
I'm embarrassed that I knew which Billy Joel song.
You nailed it.
I was about to sing the next lyric, and then I shut the fuck up, Eric.
God damn it.
Yeah, get thrown out, man. But I'd like to show up at one of their parties, like like fucking Axel Foley. Oh yeah, hey man, I know what you did. Oh, it's like like you said on the one of the last podcast that I was fun to hang out with, and I don't get it sometimes. Like I'm with myself.
Who said what?
I don't know. It was like we were drinking. There was a lot of drinking going on.
I said it.
Okay, but so. It's hard to have fun anymore, and I don't like I don't have anybody to ride with. But there was an old guy walking, a really long, gangly old man walking real slow in the intersection, and he didn't have a raincoat or a rain hat on, but his weathered sweatshirt. And I rolled down the window and I said, "Excuse me, sir, I know what you did last summer." And it made me very. And I repeated, "I know what you did last summer." And I just
you're doing it like Morgan Freeman? Is that what's
no, like I never even saw that movie.
I don't even know.
He just looked like an old skeleton. Anyway,
it's like you're mixing up a bunch of different.
I know, but I was really hot.
Into one matchup.
A Pet Cemetery character.
Yeah, Fred Gwynn. Were you doing a Fred Gwynn impersonation?
I know what you did last summer.
I know what you did last summer.
Did you just say
just like
you?
I have the vapors. Someone give me some peach tea.
I guess you had to be there.
Had he seen the movie, Andy? Did he get your reference?
I don't know. It's just his hat and the mask and the way he was walking. It reminded me.
Andy's got to drive around the block and come back and roll down his window and be like, "Hey, you got to watch this movie."
Yeah. I did that one time with my kid. For some reason, she owed me money, probably ice skating lessons or something, and I seized her bank accounts, which was their piggy bank accounts, and I had all her quarters and dimes, and it was payment. It was fair. And
so you rounded up all of her piggy banks, and you're saying
I got all her change, and then
sounds like sanctions.
Yeah, and then I was like paying everything in dimes, quarters, and I was having a good time with it. But eventually, counting out dimes for $6-7 items gets to be a thing. And then towards the end of the bag, I was driving with my daughter, and I saw two homeless guys, and then they had a dog, and their sign said, "We'll take verbal abuse for your pocket change." And that one, I was like, I saw that, and I was like, son of a bitch. And then my kid's there in the back in her car seat, and I go, I got to go around on this one. And
you were charging your daughter to pay for things while she was in a car seat?
She was in
her piggy banks?
Alone's alone, man.
Bro, you froze the assets of a toddler?
And so she was in the back seat, and I went around.
Listen,
and
what did she do?
From her was alone.
If she doesn't fall into line with Andy's foreign policy, then she must be punished. She must be made to learn.
Yeah, she was, and so we went around, but then it was like the last of the bag, and I like, I probably had $3 or $4, and they had a sign, and I go, "You sure about this?" And then I go, "All right, you cocksuckers, and you ugly motherfucker." And then I threw change at him, and then the guy goes, "What about my dog?" And I go, I was, I'll get to that piece of shit in a minute or whatever. But it was fun. It was fun, and they, their grip was, you can do this and throw your money at us, and we'll take it. And I didn't try to hurt them or anything. It was all in good fun, and I insulted him, and my daughter was kind of horrified, but it was just like fucking hilarious. I thought.
In her car seat.
Yeah. And she used to be afraid I would roll down the window and talk to motorcyclists, because I'd say, "I'm going to tell this guy he's being too loud. That's ridiculous." Yeah. And then I would roll like it was a threat, like I'm counting to 3. I'd say, "I'm going to roll down that window and talk to that biker if you don't knock it off."
Your daughter understood the get back whip at a real young age and understood to fucking mind your P's and Q's, Dad.
Yeah, we all need our get back whips nowadays. It's hard to do with just, you can't convey it with your eyes. It's real hard to convey, like, I'm dismayed with this service with your eyes. It's like it's making all of us have to step up our game. I feel like John Belushi would have been really good at it.
Yeah, but he had the fucking eyebrows.
He could have done that. He could have, "Okay, I'm sorry, sir."
Jim Carrey too.
Yeah, but his face now, he looks like much like a gaunt homeless person to really pull off that wacky face anymore. You take 20 pounds out of a face, it goes from wacky to scary.
He worked it pretty hard for a lot of years,
Yeah.
It's like any muscle, any bodybuilder. It's like, oh yeah, they're ripped now, but when they get older, they're gonna look pretty beat up. And that's Jim Carrey's face, because his whole thing was that he could make his face do almost anything. Remember when you guys remember Jim Carrey doing impressions without doing voices?
Like when he was doing,
he would just do the face of a person. He could make his face look like somebody. It's
I've seen clips of his stand-up comedy back in the day, and then like in living color. But he could do so much with a character and the voice, and said like that Fireman's Bill or whatever. Just iconic, kind of. But that show maybe wasn't big enough for that to be, but that was fucking. Jim Carrey was the thing that I watched that show for, and that sounds kind of racist. And I didn't make it all the way through Black Panther either, so maybe there is something wrong with me. But,
you've got a problem, Andy.
Yeah. Also, I haven't seen Black Panther, so maybe I'm more racist than you.
Yeah, and. God, yeah, and then that Harriet Tubman movie, I was like, yeah, I'm going to watch this, and then it starts into a semi-musical, and I'm like, fuck this, and and I feel like, man, I should try to push through it because I'm white and everything, but if it were an all-white cast and they broke into song and I didn't know it was going to be a semi-musical, I would have said fuck it too.
No way, fuck that.
Yeah,
not doing
it.
I'm
not racist because I didn't watch it because I felt like I had to.
I don't even. Whenever they start singing, I'm immediately out because it's so corny to me. Yeah. I don't even like. I would rather. I like watching documentaries. So even just any sort of dialogue that's fictional to me is already corny. So if they fucking trump that by singing, it's like, nah. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, maybe. I mean, this is a long time ago. Maybe that's what they did on the Underground Railroad, and guys and gals would jump and go, I'm going back to Georgia.
Yeah,
I can't stand these songs in this Underground Railroad, this underground passage. It's echoing. It's in my head. I'll be singing this for years. I can't do it.
Hey, you're the new guy, right? Let me hear your voice. Oh, you got a deep bass. You cover the deep parts of Swing Low.
Well, we got a baritone. We got a baritone.
I think I'm gonna head on back there. Yeah. I do like. I mean, it's just kind of the overview of what's been going on, and like watching that fucking silly old Western show of just how fucking the Aunt Jemima shit, of just how fucking Disneyized racism was and is, it's like this, as long as it ain't upsetting to nobody or whatever, but we'll have a Uncle Tom-esque rice salesman or whatever, and like, and it's like in the early days of TV and stuff, they just kind of made, like, oh, I'm having some real problem with this slavery business. Can I just buy my way out? Oh, well, we'll discuss it. Or, it's like, no, they didn't. I don't think them discussions happened, but they made it so people had an understanding of racism, but they had such a gentle version of it that they don't really get it. And then you got to watch Django. And you go, oh, that's probably a little more leaning into what it was like rather than Death Valley days.
It was the rewriting of history, Andy, is what it was.
Yeah. Well, they focus on how they treated them like family. So these people had nothing else, and they took them in and treated them like family. You didn't treat people like family, motherfucker. That's shit.
Yeah, John Oliver just did a great thing on this on the last episode of Last Week Tonight. It was fantastic.
Yeah, I feel like that also ruined me on that movie. Is it's just what you'd expect. A lot of slaves, and they get together in their Sunday service, and they're worshiping the Lord, and the masters are up on the porch and participating, sort of. But it's like, and then it's just like a workplace. It's like I'm sorry you're trying to make this movie about slavery a little too accessible to the fucking dimwits who need to, we don't need another Roots. Roots was great in its day, but that ain't exactly the rough version, and even Roots was tougher than some of these fucking movies. And I watched Roots, and Roots was a big show for me. I got like a commemorative People magazine and clipped out pictures and pasted them on my wall. And I wanted to be Kunta Kinte when I grew up.
I think that you cutting out pictures of Kunta Kinte, putting them on your wall, had more to do with the way you were possibly going at that time.
I cut out pictures of Christian McNichol and put them on my wall.
Okay, but he was shirtless. But I also had Chicken George. And he never went shirtless, but I did see, now you look back, Kunta Kinte was a lot like Mishka, he was always shirtless. And
any chance to go shirtless?
Yeah. But I mean, as a kid, I was like
shirtless and whiny.
Yeah, but that show kind of, gave you at least an overview that it was a bummer.
And that was right. That was the first, all of these things are done in steps, right? So that was groundbreaking because it showed it in its reality, but that was not really the reality. Not
at all.
But what we had, just the scene where Kunta Kinte is whipped on the back was like the iconic scene. It was like no one had seen anything like that portrayed that harshly and brutally, and it woke people up.
Is that Ed Asner?
That's
I remember a scene where they were coming over in a ship, and Mr. Walton, Papa Walton from the Waltons, was a ship captain, and then he was suggesting they bring up a woman, and then he said, "I want one of them belly warmers," and I couldn't figure out what that was, but he meant he wanted to go get a slave and rape her. But it was like that. I always like, it's like I always remembered people from The Love Boat, and it's like, wow, that guy's a crooked fuck or whatever. But that was Mr. Walton. Yeah, I know now, but at the time it was like, wow, Mr. Walton's raping that black woman, and tough love or whatever.
It's very Thomas Jefferson of him.
Yeah. God damn, our forefathers.
It seems like maybe the Waltons. I mean, after what we've discovered about Little House on the Prairie, I'm afraid to do a deep dive on the Waltons. That might have just been a cult.
Yeah. That was,
the way they talked to each other and said goodnight to each other at the end was kind of weird. So who knows,
That's another one. Like they softened racism.
Families.
And they tried to make poverty and simple family values and all that shit like bigger and better than it was or whatever. It's like fuck the Waltons, like if any of that shit happened at my house, and I don't even remember what happened there, but whatever went on at the Waltons house, if it happened at my house, it would have been a shit storm and the fucking police. I'm rushing up to the clinic.
There's literally
feeling his way.
Literally bees in your hair.
Yeah, I'm getting stitched up.
Cut me, Mick.
Yeah.
Your Walton's version was more like a live PD episode.
I think one of the
there's always the blue and red like flashing on the trees in the background. Like, oh, this is always happening.
Yeah, the Waltons were poor because the only good-looking one had that thing on his face, and he would never get it removed.
John Boy.
John Boy had the fucking mole. I don't remember much about that show.
That was his money
there were
maker.
a lot of ugly kids. Like, I thought 8 is Enough's cast was pretty ugly, but I think you could put the Waltons and 38 Special in that contest. As far as ugly groups of people. You decide which is the hottest of those. But there wasn't a sexy one, I don't think.
Let's see a picture of 38 Special, Shaylee.
I'm gonna pull it up right now.
Well, it's the Van Zandt. It was like Stevie Van Zandt.
I remember. So my brother John he's related. Well, he's born again, and he was deep, and he went to Christian college, all that shit, and speaking in tongues and everything. And he tried to he played that. I forget. He's still around. That preacher who plays music backwards and fights Satan. Not Mike Warnke, but he's another fucking douchebag. A
televangelist, Kenneth.
Yeah, Copeland? No, he was the original Spin the Records backwards. That's how I knew that. Another one bites the dust. Says start to smoke marijuana, but by then I was already way into it, so I was like, I'm cool. But he'd play records backwards, and so my brother John was telling me, like I was really into music, and I had 45s, and I had, so they would have their cover on them, and he picked up a 38 Special one, and he said, these guys are Satanists. Like that. Probably that was the picture. It's like they're Satanists. It's like, well, I don't know, and they don't even look that ugly. I don't even know if they're that ugly of a band now. I think
they're pretty good looking dudes.
That's rock right there.
Yeah, like as far as rock and roll, they were ugly, but now you throw it into the hippie jam band, and that's a 10. That's a hippie jam band 9 right there.
Yeah, that's not bad.
Yeah,
they're good looking guys. The guy with the mustache is pretty.
Yeah.
Couple of look at those sexy mustaches right up front. Yeah, in the back. Oh fuck yeah. I'd fuck 38 Special. I think you need to take that back, Andy. I think you need to rethink it.
Yeah. Well, I will stand by.
I
will stand by 8 is enough. Yeah, I'll stand by 8.
Hold on loosely, indeed.
The Leonard Skinner band was ugly because a lot of them died in a plane crash.
Well, they were ugly after that, but it didn't affect them before.
Yeah, that's too bad, because they had.
Second, Andy, I think you're remembering wrong because 8 is enough. Had some.
They had a couple of cuties, but it was all the natural.
It
was all the natural type of.
Well,
the natural look. They're teenage girls. They're just like not.
It was like if you were a casting director and you were lazy and you just went to your improv acting class and you hired all those women. Betty Buckley. Okay, that little fuck. Tommy's.
You're right, Willie. Willie
they
Ames
got the one
is the best
good-looking
looking
dude.
girl. Willie Ames is the best looking girl on this
for sure. Well, the only one I remembered was that youngest boy who always looked like he was wearing a motorcycle helmet.
Yeah.
That's the kind of hair I wanted, and then my mom would cut it, and like, no, I want the fucking hair like the kid in 8 is enough.
That was your look, Andy? You were looking.
And she gave me the Dick Van Patten, and I wanted the Nicholas.
That was his name too. I was trying to remember.
Like every one of the 8 is enough chicks on that show, the characters they played were the girls you'd date and get pregnant, and then you'd move out of town. Every single one of them.
They're the ones that you tell you're going to get a pack of smokes. You'll be right back.
Yeah, and they'll rally because they're used to fucking buckling up as a family.
Well, yeah, they've got family behind them, right? Yeah, fuck them. I'm out of here. I get sucked into
It was,
that family.
Adam Rich was the young kid with the
yeah.
And then Grant Goodeve is the oldest guy. I think he was a construction guy.
Yeah, he was the one who brought the the lady viewers. And then they were like, like Tommy was eye candy for, young ladies and stuff. He was, hey, let's cast a Peter Frampton-esque guy. And because that fucking douchebag grew that hair, he got the role.
Yeah, they wanted Leif Garrett to do it, but then they realized Leif Garrett didn't actually do anything, so he couldn't do it. It's like, oh no, he's just Leif Garrett. He doesn't actually do things. He just
Leif's
is
not
Leif Garrett.
available. He's doing photo shoots for the next 6 years.
Yeah, he's got Tiger Beat.
Yeah, and one episode of Love Boat or whatever the fuck he did. What did he do? What
Charles in Charge.
Yeah. His mom must have.
Yeah, I'm looking here on IMDb, and Ralph Macchio was on an episode of 8 Is Enough. I don't remember that.
Oh, really? Probably one of Nicholas's little friends.
Yeah.
It was must-see TV in that was a period of time where, like, the street lights would come on, and all us kids on the block would have to go into the house.
Yeah.
Sickening fucking garbage TV. The whole fucking era. I remember the TV guides and these fucking news shows, and they're all the fucking clones of 8 Is Enough, Brady Bunch, all this fucking garbage. And we digested it. We sucked it into our veins, and that's why we're where we are right now. All this fucking mundane bullshit. These mindless fucking escapism fucking shows.
That is true.
Your male father figures were not as good as Dick Van Patten or Ingalls.
What he's saying is that it oversimplifies and paints over some pretty glaring problems that should be addressed.
Yeah, I didn't.
We could actually get to the fucking paradise if we talked about this shit, so that we could deal with it.
I sat at home with my problems watching Mr. Edwards adopt a kid, take him into his home, call him Wild Boy, tame him, and then let him go.
That's why we had very special episodes, you guys, to cover all of these things. You don't remember? That everyone had a very. I watched Silver Spoons. It popped up on my thing a while back that I had it, and I go, I remember that, and I clicked on it, and the very first episode, Jason Bateman was in the first episode of that. I was like, oh shit, that's Jason Bateman right there. That was, and then I could only make it about that far into the episode. I had to shut it off. Gilligan's Island. I saw Gilligan's Island a while back, and I'm like, oh, I love Gilligan's Island, and I put it on. I go, how the fuck did I watch Gilligan's Island?
Well, Gilligan's Island at least was just one dumb joke told over and over again. Like it wasn't like the Waltons or Little House on the Prairie or 8 Is Enough, where they said, or even the Huxtables, where it was like, all right, this is comedy. Family.
With their problems and shit. And people who watch that kind of TV need to have a fucking brick thrown through their front window and an angry mob of people steal their shit and impregnate some of them. In a very special episode of your fucking boring bullshit existence, your fucking way safe neighborhood is about to be invaded.
There it is, Shaylee.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, something like I watched Arrested Development. Speaking of Jason Bateman, I watched Arrested Development, and he thinks his son is smoking weed, and he grabs his textbook and just starts shaking the fuck out of it. And if I didn't watch the Cosbys, I would never get that joke. If whenever they found a joint in Theo's textbook. And it was the bully's joint. It wasn't Theo's joint. And he was very offended that his parents didn't trust him. But I'm one of those people. I grew up in the 80s just watching.
But see, that's exactly it, though. Andy's exactly right, because Brady Bunch did the exact same thing. Because wasn't there didn't one of the Bradys get in trouble because they had cigarettes in their coat jacket pocket? But it was really somebody else's.
Yeah, it was Greg, but he wasn't smoking it. He did smoke the one time.
Somebody else's cigarettes. It's the same thing, but that was that's how. That's what they used to tell the story.
And I remember watching that, and then it's like, oh, that's kind of like Christmas when Larry and David slipped off to go to the basement, and then Mom followed him down there and accused him of smoking weed, and there was a big argument, and then people fucking yelled at each other, and everybody fucking cried, and that episode, that one
on a very special episode of the Andrus Are Enough.
Yeah. Everybody smoked, everybody lied, we all fucking did whatever. I didn't even know about weed, but I knew those guys were growing it, and I knew you could smoke it and get high, is what I heard. And I always just go take it, cut it off of the plant wet, and put it in something and smoke it.
It all makes sense though, because you really were the Nicholas of the Andrus family. You were like the cute little fucking toe-headed fucking mop top kid that was younger than everybody while everyone else was partying.
They were like giving
up, not giving a fuck anymore. Yeah,
you don't want to be the you don't want to be I'll tell you this: history wasn't good to the Cindy of the Andrus family. Sure, I was precious in pigtails and a dress, but I shouldn't have been dressing like that. And I didn't need a dolly. What did she had she had a great name for her dolly. Mine was Drowsy. Mrs.
What the fuck was it?
Mrs. Billsworth, some shit like that.
Yeah.
But my Drowsy was just, I was, and
man, you were adorable.
It was cute for a while. I can see it in the pictures. Like people, I was like a puppy, and then when I got past that puppy stage, then it was like, fucking get out of here, dude.
I love that Erickson compared you to Nicholas, and you immediately corrected him and compared yourself to Cindy Brady.
I know.
Different show. I don't even know what the
better analogy.
You were like the Nicholas on 8 is Enough. You're right. I was a Cindy.
I always thought that would be a great name of a band, the Cindy's.
And the thing is, he could have even gone with Bobby on that show. He could have.
No way. Andy is a Cindy all the way.
Of course. I'm not saying.
I think
the doll's name was Kitty Carey.
Kitty Carey on. She went missing, and Bobby set up I think maybe Pete set up a detective agency, and him and Bobby investigated and found out the old man took the doll to attract dudes at a gay bar. No, I don't know. That's blending a little reality with it, but
Yeah, you're blending it up. That's a good fan fiction.
Yeah, Mike Brady was the.
That would be a good idea. We should just rewrite every one of the Brady Bunch.
Remember that? Like Mike Brady was the perfect American father, and if you think about it, he still is. He took care of his kids. He got married after something happened, and he had a new family. And he was a closet homosexual the whole time.
Self-sacrifice, man.
He was an architect by day, and he was designing some cock-sucking at night.
I mean, imagine if it never occurred to any of us that Robert Reed, was that his name? That he was gay in real life. It never even occurred to me to think about whether he was or he wasn't. But it would have been it would, because we didn't talk about that at all, but it would have been mind-blowing information to know. If that would have come out while that show was on, it would have been the most. Yeah, it would have been the hugest news.
It would have been.
It's crazy,
though.
And Carol Brady should have spotted it, because like you watch some early episodes, look at Mike Brady's hair, and then in the later episodes, he's got a fro. He had straight hair. He's got an afro now. He's been working out a lot.
He's cutting down on his carbs.
Yeah, he's always golfing.
There's got to be a reason for that.
Yeah. He's golfing.
Carol's like, why do you always have to fuck me from behind, Mike? I don't understand. It's a short haircut. Carol, shut up. Don't talk.
Kitty Carry-All was an actual product.
Oh, really?
I mean, It looks like she's sporting the coat of many colors.
Yeah, she got a little Dolly Parton.
I wore that to church for a parade.
Yeah, I believe that 100%.
And I told you the crossover, the Little House, the Reverend Aldrin was the preacher that married Mike and Carol. It's fucking mind blowing. And then the pets get loose and kind of ruin the reception.
Yeah, no, that was the
Tiger
thing. And the cat. Yeah, they had a big deal.
Yeah,
I just showed the grandkids that last week.
Oh man,
the cat didn't make it to into the house though.
No.
I think the cat got cut after that.
I don't know.
Somewhere what's his name? The older Cunningham. He's Richie. Sitting there with a cat.
Richie and Chuck.
All right.
Chuck Cunningham sitting there with a cat from the Brady Bunch. Some waiting room of all the sort of parts. Yeah. I can't think anymore, but that's it right there. The two.
Well, like the Facts of Life started out with like 10 people on it.
Yeah, well, that show always triggers me.
That got down to
looked like the dad on that show, Mr. Drummond. And,
that's different strokes.
Oh, which show are we talking about?
I said the Facts of Life, the girls and
those were all
the spinoff.
All those shit, like how much power did Happy Days? It's like you have one show and then you got 5 shows. They're all kind of spinoffs. They're all about the same. But, so I'm sure the guy who did 8 is Enough probably had a track record of mediocre fucking shows that people would watch.
Like you said, we were easy marks back then, man. It was a fucking
channels, man.
Market, just fucking people would eat it up, whatever.
Yeah. Could you imagine being a TV writer in those days? You're like, okay, you show up, you don't have any ideas. You go to the meeting, like, okay, there's a guy and he's got a talking car and they solve crime.
Yeah.
And you think they're gonna throw you out on your ass, and then the next thing you know.
No, that's what you say after you've given your pitch. You're like, all right, well, it's a gritty, real life story of a human being's real struggles trying to make it and justify their own failures and deal with their own problems while still, and they're like, what the fuck? Oh, all right, never mind. How about a car that talks and we solve crimes?
Yeah, fuck it. Let's just call this one Airwolf. Put it in there. People watch it.
Yeah, and Provenza, Paul Provenza dated her. He played her like a guy who dated her on the show, Blair.
Oh yeah,
Provenza. Really?
Yeah.
So
I kind of had him pegged for the fat chick.
Let's do the old Gilligan's Island with this picture. Yeah. What did you guys like the best on this one? I always thought Joe was the hottest Facts of Life.
I always felt like Joe was a hot one, and Blair
figures were all
Blair
friends.
Was a good actress at her character, which was to be annoying and the type, So it's like, if you're just to go with my experiences, Joe probably I would have had sex with, and Natalie, would have given me an old fashioned
hand job in the parking lot. Natalie's a hand job in the parking lot, man.
No, Natalie was the girl you dated and cheated on with one of the other girls.
Wait, which was that? Who was the old lady as a young gal? Who was Mrs. Garrett? Who was Mrs. Garrett as a young gal? The big fat girl.
Charlotte Ray. Well, then that show had a new life, and Molly Ringwald.
Right behind her. That's Natalie. Is the Joe one?
Yeah.
Natalie.
Remember that show clung to fucking.
Don't even know all the facts.
I got it, dude. I'm right there. I know
that cast.
What I'm saying is, why would Natalie be your girlfriend? Natalie's the easy hand job in the parking lot.
I think that's what Andy said.
I guess the joke was that she was the nice. Fun, interesting one you'd actually want to hang out with, so you date her.
What do you think Paul Provenza's character was? He a preppy? He had to be a preppy to date Blair. So Paul Provenza's the preppy. He couldn't have been a tough guy, or he would have dated Joe. So or maybe a bad boy. Paul Provenza's a bad boy.
This
is Hollywood gossip, and I shouldn't even repeat this. But Paul Provenza told me after Rob Lowe broke up with Half a Pint from Little House that Paul Provenza dated Half Pint, and she'd already been with Rob Lowe, so I'm guessing sexually active. And Paul Provenza, and I don't know, I wouldn't say Milton Berle because I've never seen him fully unsheathed, but when we all were standing around and we did that photo in our Saks underwear, it looked like Paul had done some prep work, but nobody had advance notice. So he was filling up Half a Pint after Rob Lowe. And I'm friends with the guy.
Hot Hollywood gossip.
Wow, the degrees of separation.
That is very Hollywood.
You fucked Half Pint, and I
don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
Half a Pint.
You're still working with Paul. Why are you talking like?
I want to still, before we lose this picture, I still want to say that I guess it might be because we're older now, but Mrs. Garrett looks pretty fucking hot.
Great.
And I never thought
Charlotte Rae was hot
Mrs.
too.
Garrett. She's a hot woman.
As a young woman, she was in some things that.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You don't even want to see Ann B. Davis this deep into a quarantine. I take that. I take her ass like the Arthurs.
Yeah.
Storm that beach like Normandy, yo.
Speaking of bee, let me look at the ant bee. I don't give a shit.
Yeah. I want to open a bar when this is all over called fucking No Standards. You can just go, there's glory holes over here. There's fucking gigantic people. There's fucking unlikable, unlovable people over here that'll suck your cock. And we have snacks.
That sounds like a glory hole, not a bar.
That light bar food,
sound...
Masks required.
No. Yeah, I think people, at this point, it's just gonna, when this is all over, it'll just be like, when they show like a fucking knights, attacking each other, or fucking epic war scene, and people will just be on different hillsides, and then they'll go, it's over, and people just run down and they'll just fuck who's ever there. Won't matter. Be like, oh, it's my father. Oh, well, whatever. Any port in a storm, right, Governor? free at last. It's a hoax and a myth, so you can go out and have
if it ever ends.
In fact, I'm pleased to announce my glory hole is opening in Sturgis for the big event. He's sucking off my cock and then kissing my grandma on her ear when I get home, because I think it's a hoax. And my grandma's dead. I can talk sexual about my grandma. Even if I got her all turned on, we can't do it. But if she,
Charlotte Rae goes all the way back to the DuPont show of the month,
I'll tell you
the Phil Silvers show, and Car 54. Where are you?
Pull up an old Charlotte Rae picture. You guys are gonna be like,
I'm
she was a fucking
right now.
She was
thinking
good-looking woman.
My grandma May, when she was getting in trouble and following my, the bands and partying and shit. My grandma was a Charlotte Rae in her day too.
Oh hell
big cans
she was
on
like
that.
When you say getting in trouble, I'm assuming you don't mean getting attacked by a tiger at the mall.
This was before that.
The same level of attraction. That was probably a male tiger.
A different tiger.
Wow. A tiger attacked my cougar grandma.
No, that's the chick from fucking.
That's Charlotte Rae.
That's Charlotte Rae.
From Psycho.
Isn't that Psycho?
No, that's Charlotte Rae in a movie.
It's not Psycho, huh?
Yeah.
That's not Psycho.
Wow.
No. Yeah.
Yeah, she ain't. Well, that probably ain't the best. That's.
Do you have any
mid-career? Do you have anything a little earlier in her career?
Well, it's just hard to tell. That's a very.
I'll tell you what.
You find that
Andy Davis, who was Alice on the Brady Bunch, she goes back several series, and she ain't look different. She's like
she always looks like Alice.
she looked like fucking Alice when she was 19.
Yeah. I can't imagine Alice looking feminine at all.
She probably had a few good weeks at like 19. And then instantly looked like an old person. It just happens to some people.
Well,
that beehive. The beehive.
How you end up trying to fuck Sam the Butcher.
Yeah, he always did those beat jokes and stuff. But I don't know. Maybe Alice fucking was just hot sex, Like you think she had that little room off the house there, and maybe Mike Brady was like, thought she looked enough like a dude and slipped in there.
This is the problem with her room off to the side. They didn't trust her. That's why they put her in the house. Any other mother-in-law unit is on separate from the house. It's like has its own entrance, so you can come and go as you please. She was in the middle because she was up to shenanigans, man.
Yeah.
I think
that's Charlotte Rae right there.
Yeah,
that's not speaking. She doesn't look great.
That's
in that
not
picture.
very flattering.
No.
Are you? So that's in the.
Maybe I'm just remembering her. Maybe I'm remembering her hot.
Yeah.
She's no Joan Collins.
I'm trying to justify all the times I've jacked off to
I would still.
It was her. I was thinking.
Like I would if I ran in. Maybe Joan Collins. I'm guessing Joan Collins is dead. But if she isn't, I run into her. I'd probably still fuck her. She's she's sexy way back, age sexy.
Man.
I feel like Charlotte Rae was a comedic actress.
I do now. I thought she looked hot in the Facts of Life picture, but now
that's not a great picture. I mean, you got her in that picture. She's like upset too. Like it's she's acting there.
She would have been a Walnut Grove 4. No, I don't know. She would have been a Walnut Grove 7, but that ain't saying much. You got one school teacher that's sort of hot, and Mrs. Ingalls. Mrs. Ingalls,
Mrs. Ingalls was hot.
Yeah. That glow she'd get when her old man would start fiddling. You go, man, I was out there.
That's when she's got that whap.
Yeah, that full fiddle face.
Hey, this is Joan Collins. She's still alive, by the way.
Wow, what nursing home? I wonder if she's got any pain patches on her. Good God, that'd be the fucking ultimate. Make love to Joan Collins and then peel a pain patch off and go, oh, that hits the spot. It was a long drive to get here.
Oh, mama.
Oh shit! I read an article a while back about Mary Ann from Gilligan's Island. Somebody had been contacting her and telling her that she's got like dementia, and they've been telling her that they love her and they're gonna marry her and all this stuff. Did we?
Yeah.
Oh fuck.
No,
really?
Dad.
Did.
That's that's cool. She's still dating.
Because that's what we agreed. We'd all still.
Her handlers are cock blocking her.
The dude who dated me back in the day, I keep bringing him up, but he sent letters to Kate Jackson of Charlie's Angels, and he showed me one, and he was like bragging on it, and I was like, and then she's a lesbian.
Yes.
Like he chose.
Your molester wrote letters to Kate Jackson. Is that what you just said? I got lost in that for a second.
It was it was his idea. I guess like Charlie's Angels was on at the time, and he wrote her. He's telling me like oh, I'm kind of like I'm dating too. I sent a fan letter, so it's like at that point I should have said next. Like, no, sir, I'm breaking up with you. You're sending fan letters to a fucking Charlie's Angel who ain't even fair.
They call that a red flag these days, Andy.
She was kind of boyish. She so she was like
she wore
a guy who's attracted to young boys.
Charlie's Angels.
Come to that in a mainstream TV show as a woman and go, oh yeah, so I'm kind of the Kate Jacksons of of his world or what I was the big get. I was more obtainable at the time than Kate Jackson. Now it's even push. Big glass of wine and a couple of pills, you could probably land either of us. No matter what your orientation. But you ain't gonna do it by writing a weird letter.
No.
Maybe.
You know, I saw his letters. They weren't much. I got a few of them back, and you know, he'd send me, but they're all like kind of business letters. It's like, I'll pick you up. Oh yeah, see, why would you go? Yeah, I'm gonna write a letter to the third chick in that picture.
Yeah, she's very dude-like in that picture.
Well, I mean, the other two didn't answer, so it's your third letter. It's not your first letter doesn't go to Kate Jackson.
Yeah, you put a picture of me up. You put a picture of me up in '79. I wore my hair similar.
Andy,
to Charlie first, or Bosley, Tom Bosley.
Andy, I just want you to know that you are way prettier than Kate Jackson.
Yeah. I'm no Farrah Fawcett, but I'm more of a poster than she would be. And I don't, I'm sure he probably, well, I would like to think he postered me. Like put one of those, my nipples are out, poking through my t-shirt.
Otherwise, what was it? Yeah, why was it worth it?
Back.
Why were you even
not?
I wondered why he did the fan, but it was just to blow my hair back for the photos. He's an artist. He was an artist.
Oh shit!
I shouldn't even talk about that because then it always feels like we need to leave as soon as I start talking about it. But we're not there yet.
I was just thinking about that Farrah Fawcett poster.
Yeah, that Farrah Fawcett poster, and then I had that, and then the fall guy I had Heather Thomas.
Yeah,
like that Heather Thomas. Both of them.
Did you get both of them at the fair by throwing darts? That's where I got mine, Andy.
Yeah, yeah. When I wasn't fighting carnies, I was fighting for porn. And both of those posters, had camel toes.
That's it.
That Farrah Fawcett. It still stands up,
Absolutely.
Yeah. Even, I think, she was Marilyn Monroe-esque, and then she married a TV star, and it just took it all out of her fucking, she went from being the hottest actress to being married to the fucking ball guy, and $6
million man.
Yeah, I know he's a six, but TV,
but
TV actors, who was the big movie stars of those days in '77, but there was still the difference is
she should have made the jump.
Yeah. She should have been with Clooney. She'd still be alive if she was with Clooney.
Clooney wasn't around then.
I know, but still.
Are you saying the fall guy gave her anal cancer?
She should have hooked up with Burt Reynolds.
Cool. I don't know what the name of the movie is, but it's I like revenge movies, especially like when a victim turns the tables. And there's one where Farrah Fawcett older. And a dude fucking, breaks in, maybe rapes her. I don't remember that part, but then she fucking turns the tide on. It's like one of those roles where you're like, holy shit, that's Farrah Fawcett.
Was it the one? Is that the one where she locked him in the fireplace?
Yeah,
I remember it.
Yeah. She fucks him up.
Definitely.
Tour de force.
That movie was like, holy fuck. It's like when a male actor does something, like all these fucking comedies, not Sandler with that Blood Diamond thing because of Jesus. But anyway, everybody's saying that was or not Blood Diamond. It's like, didn't you want that character to die? Like, I didn't even want the movie to go 20 minutes. I wanted him to die.
What just happened?
Oh my God.
The Sandler movie where he's the fucking diamond salesman.
He's talking about it. Now he's doing a review for Uncut Gems.
I haven't watched it, but I got the reference. I'm fucked up enough to get it.
Really,
I don't know, man. Maybe it was good acting, but he was so abrasive and so annoying. It was like, holy shit, I can't watch 2 hours of this guy.
He was a lot, yeah. Yeah, The Burning Bed. There it is.
Which one's that? Oh, that's the Farrah Fawcett. Yeah, she's fucking great in that. And I fucking enjoyed that poster a lot. Like,
with a black.
Wait! Don't say. Don't once Shaylee puts up
that poster a lot.
Don't say
the battered woman.
The poster before.
This is the poster you enjoyed. This is the movie you watched, right?
The poster's the one you marry. The later poster's the one you end up with.
Mary kill.
Yeah, that's the fuck.
But if I like, so I don't know if they're still doing it, but my old house in Coquille is an Airbnb, or at least it was. And if I would like to go there and then take some thumbtacks and put that Heather Thomas poster back where it belongs and that Pharaoh. Yeah, fucking enjoy, another moment. I was like, those were my ladies, those two right there. I didn't realize, one would die of anal cancer, the other would have a cocaine problem.
Wait, Heather Thomas was a Fall Guy? Is that who you're talking about?
Yeah.
But people confuse the Heathers. Like they were the Coreys, like the Coreys. It was Corey Feldman and Corey, the other one. And then with the Heathers, it was Heather Locklear and Heather Thomas. And everybody was like, oh, no, Heather Thomas was the low-grade one that you could get with a fucking 8-ball. Heather Locklear, you had to be in a band and have drugs.
What a fucking apt description, Andy. That was
yeah. Heather Thomas sold those posters. I don't know what the photographer, maybe the photographer said, take your thumb, twirl it up in your swimsuit, and then yard it up your cunt. Because that's what sold that poster. I saw that at the fair. I was like, holy shit. Are you kidding me?
Find that poster, Shaylee, please. Holy shit.
After that description.
Yeah. I still remember all the words to the Fall Guy theme song because of that poster.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Definitely.
Yeah, and it was just a kick-ass song.
Yeah. He's got it. Yeah, hold on, guys. Hold on.
I'm not
Jesus,
I kiss and tell, but I've been seen with Farrah. I've never been with anything less than a 9. So fine. I've been in fire with Cheryl T. Blown up with a girl named Rocco. Somehow they just don't end up as mine. So fine. I don't know. I think that's most of it.
I thought I had you for a second.
That's the end of it. That's like the third verse. That's pretty impressive.
Well, I spent a lot of time in front of that TV.
Damn it.
My mom told me a couple lies. She said I would go blind if I sat too close to the TV. Lie. I ain't blind. I sat real close to it during Love Boat or whatever. I'd sit close. And she'd also say if I watched a lot of shows with violence, I would eventually get desensitized to violence. And if right to this day, if I see somebody get punched in the face, I stop and go, oh, man. So I ain't desensitized at all. There it is. Pan down.
Yeah.
Pan down.
Wow.
Yeah. Take your time.
I got to get a better shot of that. But yeah, that is the fucking shot, man.
Yeah, I don't even think she was a great, did a lot as far as acting. But that poster, she probably made bank on it.
Well, not necessarily.
Yeah, somebody made money.
Yeah.
Back in the 70s and 60s,
yeah,
a lot of money.
That's what's wrong with pornography. Pornography was always
at the county fair.
Yeah, don't you wish pornography always would have been a woman-run organization? Because it's like all the creepy. I don't want to see some girl like fucking choking on somebody's dick or whatever. It's like a little romance would be all right, or it doesn't have to be all this. But it doesn't have to be stupid setups. Yeah, it's all this male-dominated fucking bad plots and shit. Let the girls just put a thumb up their thing and yard it up if they want, and that is why I'm not a homosexual. That poster is why I'm not gay. Thank you for saving me, Heather Thomas. I was on a fence there. I didn't know which way to turn, but I realized that
Andy is only.
I love that.
Andy is only half gay thanks to that Heather Thomas poster.
He had the picture of LeVar Burton up on his wall, and then he would look over at the Heather Thomas poster and then he finally took it down.
Bloody slave and chains and her. I can go right or I can go left, but I feel like both roads lead to comedy. Now, if I would have seen that Brooke Shields, which I just learned this recently, Brooke Shields was mostly naked and parts covered up in Playboy as an 11-year-old. Now, there are some comics who might have posted that one up. Yeah, that is their thing or whatever, but I'm not that guy. I'm not the... Yeah, there's really no way to spin it, but I would like to watch that Rob Lowe roast again and see where those jokes are. So, might have been a little written a little inward or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a real thing.
Yeah.
You know, we're talking about Jeff Ross dating a 15-year-old girl, according to the 15-year-old girl.
Yeah, well, and then I was like, oh, okay, you know, like
and
I'm trying
7
to fit
other
in your head and being like where I came from. It's like when I was 15, I had a dude that was still in my world who was manipulating me and doing shit that's still setting off time bombs in my head at this point in my life. But I found this funny. I read that girl's account of things, and she said his apartment was really messy and he had a lot of man show stuff around there. It's like, Jesus Christ, you know, way to subject somebody to misogyny and rape at the same time. You know?
Allegedly. Yeah. I mean,
well, yeah. If he dated her and the dad says they did, the dad, you know, why would the dad say, oh, you know, the dad thought it was
just let her.
Yeah.
Terrible.
I mean, there's a problem right there.
And I knew. So, okay, the same thing happened to me. Like when I was a freshman. No, let's see. I would have been a sophomore-ish in college. I got kicked out of community college, or not kicked out. I ran out of steam there, and I actually went to another college. And then a roommate was dating this chick, and then her. So it was a senior in high school. I was 19 and made out with a senior in high school, and at that point, I knew it was wrong, and and her dad would bring her over, and we had sex a couple of times. Like her dad would drop her off at the dorms, I would fuck her. But at that point in my life, as a 19-year-old, I knew that was fucking pushing a boundary that I didn't want to go, and I dumped her awkwardly. And then that's when I got with Fat Kathy, who ruined my Christmas robe years later. But I knew at 19 that what I was doing was manipulating a young girl who saw me as something that I was a regular fucking turd, you know. I was somebody who should be idolized because I'm 4 years older than you, or 3, whatever it was. And then, you know, it was an awkward breakup. She showed up at this thing, and it was a ski night at a thing, and I was able to go upstairs.
It was a what? It was a what?
It was a ski night at Mount Ashland. So I don't know, her friends.
So you're like up at the slopes, and they're like a reception.
It's like, I can't do this anymore. And she showed up. She was really drunk, and I was upstairs in the beer garden upstairs, and she was down there like Juliet or Romeo, going, "I love you." And then she fell down and smashed her chin, and I felt horrible about it. But I knew if I went down and helped her, I was just gonna stay back up in this mess, and her friends would take care of her. And I feel bad about it. I mean, she was. You know, like I see her picture on Facebook, and I was like, I should send her, like, man, I'm sorry, it's a fucking callous 19-year-old, and you fucking thought I was something. I feel bad about that, but not when I was 33 and a comic working a club, and somebody's like, you know, my daughter worked for a short time at Denver Comedy Club, and I was so glad she got out of there because I was so worried about creepy fucking comics with no boundaries that would fucking prey on her. And turns out some of them do that. You know?
Yeah.
The thing that's the point I was going to talk about, Andy, is when you like young people, a lot of times I know a kid that grew up with my sons, he was a good friend and he came over a lot. When he was like 20, he had a girlfriend who was like 17. And the parents were all right with it. Like he would stay over there, and you know everybody knew the whole thing was open. And then as soon as they broke up, the mom fucking called the cops and said he, you know, did this, and that dude did 2 years, like 2.5 years in prison, and had to register as a sex offender. Yeah. And he was a really nice kid, man. So the whole, sometimes it's it works.
Yeah, no, like on that edge, you know, like like I said, I had like when I was a senior, I dated a freshman girl, and then I went through all that weird shit with the breakup and the friend dying and all that stuff. So I was emotionally like in a weird place. And then when I got to that second hump of college, you know, like I didn't do that well. Like I met this fat psychotic chick towards the end of community college, and we had sex. And
Fat Kathy.
No, this was another one. This was another one. I don't even remember her name.
Come on, we need a name.
Like I totaled. No, I don't even remember. But I totaled my car, and I was in a mess. Like I was, you know, like everything was fucked up. And then I met this girl, and she, I was having sex with her. My roommates kept knocking on the door, being silly. So then I was fucking her in the closet, and then they came in with beer. I knew who they were. One of my roommates was 6'5", so I was like, I know it's you, Paul. You got it, but they had beer half racks on their heads, and they just thought it'd be funny to come in.
The 12-pack mask.
And I was phoning this girl, and then I went home from community college to work in the mill, and and I kind of forgotten about her. But then I started getting a barrage of phone calls, and at my home, I gave her my house number. Like, yeah, maybe get a hold of me here. And then so she kept calling, and then she threatened to kill herself and all this stuff. So I never really got back with her. But it's probably for the better. And then 14, 15 phone calls into the summer, and then she's threatening to kill herself. And so I guess it wasn't gonna go anywhere. Then I got to the state. You, it wasn't. And when I got to the state college, then it was like, that was it. Like I went 2 years in college, and I was sort of a stalker. Like the one girl I was really attracted to was like, I was handing towels out in the athletic department, so I had all, and then I was like smitten with her. And then I saw her with a guy at a dance, and I was all drunk and yelled at her. I was not ready for the dating circuit. So when I got to Southern Oregon State, and a roommate is dating a senior in high school, it seemed like, okay, here we go. And then right away, we're fucking everything. I managed to.
Whoa! What
yeah.
Who told Andy to pick up the mic?
I love that he started off wondering if he was good because he had the mic in a new position, and now he's just got it in his hand.
Yeah, he's like fucking Freddie Mercury at the fucking Wembley Stadium. Set the fucking mic down, Andy. Your mic is perfect.
I don't know if I can go forward. I've been doing a lot of painting and climbing of ladders, and I got a wicked fucking back of my leg cramp, and I'm afraid if I bend that leg, it'll fucking seize up.
But your mic is perfect until you started touching it.
All right, I know.
Oh, see now, yeah.
Just be careful with it. Just be careful with it. Oh, maybe we should say goodnight.
Yeah, when your leg seize up, like put me in, coach. Put a needle in it. I can run.
And it's
covered some ground here tonight.
I need a belly warmer.
Oh shit! All right, everybody. I think that feels pretty good. That feels like a podcast to me. Thanks for being out there, Andy. Thank you very much. That honestly. This last hour, you've taken me places. I'm telling you, that was fucking something else. And thank you guys for being out there.
Are you fucking kidding me? You got your money, Patreon. Your money.
Oh
yeah. So we appreciate you, and we
this Hershey candy bar and $5. I don't know. I'm just in the mood for a s'more. A belly warmer for my actual belly warmer.
Hey, I on the other podcast, but I have to go do another podcast because Sam Talent just arrived. His book, fucking amazing. Has everyone ordered it yet?
Yeah,
I have it.
I have it.
I have a backlog of books that I'm mentioned in that I've got to get to. They're stacking up. But I do have Sam Talent's book. I've got like one more day to push on this painting project, and then I'm going to take that book and a lawn chair, and I'm going to take over that spot that I saw on that creek that those intellectuals had, and I'm going to read into that book. That's my Wednesday.
You could get to that quick.
Yeah, which part of my I'll get to at least where I'm mentioned, and then I'll skip.
I'll cross over.
Ah, shit. Well,
but I want to say, great book. I know you guys have all talked about getting it. If you can't, go to samtalent.com, TALLENT. It is an amazing book, and I can't wait to talk to him. I haven't even met him. He showed up after I came down here to podcast.
Yeah. Well, I look forward to hearing that one. Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds great. All right, guys.
All right, we'll go have fun. All right, love you guys.
Yeah, let's do this.
I had a blast.
Well done.
Hey, let's get together on Wednesday.